This comes from Annette. She writes, Dear Freak Show, a couple weeks ago, my ex and I were still together, and we got into a big fight over him being shady. And just playing with me. He went ghost on me for a whole day and wasn't answering his phone. Red flag. It's embarrassing, but I went to his house to see what I could see. And there were no cars in his driveway, but there were cars I didn't recognize on the street. I went into his backyard after looking around his bushes to see if I could see in. When I went into the backyard gate, I saw him in the kitchen drinking with some girl. Before I could go back around to the front door to bust his ass, I saw a flashlight coming around my way into the backyard. So I hid behind the shed, and it was a police officer, and they said, come on out. A neighbor apparently called police because they saw a suspicious person entering the backyard. As me and the officer were walking out of the yard, him and the girl were standing in the window watching me get walked away.
Oh, Lord.
He didn't even bother to come outside. Okay, that was a cuss. He didn't even bother to come outside, little blanker. I was let off with a warning of trespassing. Relationship is definitely over that night. All I can say is when your gut is telling you something, you need to listen because it's usually right. Signed, Annette from Lakeland.
Okay. Well, you caught him. Although you were arrested. See, here's the thing. You can do a drive-by, girl, but getting out and going in the bushes, like, you know, you can get caught up in a situation like this. I think we've all kind of done a drive-by before. Have you ever done a drive-by?
Well, I mean, and that's a great question, though. How low have you gone?
Oh, yeah.
That's a great question because if you feel something in your gut and you ain't sure and you got to do a little snooping,
you have to.
Or you got to do. Sometimes you gotta really make yourself vulnerable and a little bit willing to be embarrassed to try and do it. I told you about the time when I dated a girl in high school and she graduated a year before me, so I knew there was something going on. It just felt like her timing was off. I'm like, why we ain't talking as much?
Right.
And so I did. I pulled up on her block in my father's car.
Yeah.
Down the street. So I could see her front door.
And what'd you see?
And I saw a very, very tall, very collegey looking man step outside of her door and then turn around and kiss her at the door. As I was sitting there in the car, and I waited for him to pull off. I waited for her to go in the house to go on, and then I pulled off.
Yeah.
And I cried all the way home.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, it hurts. I drove by my my ex's house on Davis Island, and I didn't get out of the car, but he was supposed to be out working in Vegas, and yeah, he was in his house in the kitchen with somebody, a woman, and she had
always the kitchen.
A white BMW in the driveway.
And you keyed it.
And did not key it. I wanted to get out and look through the window to see if I knew who the chick was, but my judgment said, listen, you already see the situation. You don't need to be digging any further. Obviously, look, she got arrested or the cops got her. So, you know, my advice is follow your gut instinct. Just do a drive-by. You don't need to get out of the car. There's really no reason
and don't get out and go Jasmine Sullivan on them like, I bust the windows to your car.
Yeah,
don't do all of that.
totally.
Even though, Meredith, I thought that's where that was going.
I didn't.
I mean, once you say white
I thought about
BMW,
it.
you're like, I slashed her tires. That heifer.
It's always a Beamer.
I want to know, because, I mean, obviously, there's nothing to talk about. You caught him. He's busted. The relationship is over. And honestly, I like you admitting this because it gives us the chance to kind of be self-deprecating about ourselves.
Yeah.
I did it.
I've been
You
there.
creeped in.
Right.
Anybody out there, how low did you go? I mean, and you were pushed into that. So it's not about you. You were pushed in there by bad behavior by somebody else, and you got pushed into being at your lowest.
It's not her
How low did you go? You know, I always try and play a song apropos. So, all right. Please believe.
Whoa.
Please believe y'all are responding to that question.
Yeah, big time.
How low did you go? The caller, the relationship is over, but she found herself crawling through bushes, sneaking in the backyard to find out that he in there having sippy tea with a little lady.
Yeah, he got caught.
And now I'm asking, because we've all done something that we might not be, and when the light shines and we like, whether you snooping, whether you doing something, what did you do? Meredith, go ahead.
Okay, this is out of the 863. My ex wanted to rebuild and rekindle our relationship and even mentioned marriage. Something was off on a Friday evening, and I decided to drive over to his home. I had the codes to his door and the garage clicker. I used the code to go through the front door, and I found him in bed with a chick that he had gotten pregnant. He pushed me out of the home. She got out of the house naked and pretended that they didn't know one another.
How you outside naked and don't know? Like, come
I
on.
don't know. I don't know him.
Come on. I don't know him. I'm just outside naked minding my own business. That's dumb. All right, wait. We got Shayla on the phone. Shayla.
Good morning, please.
Good morning. All right, listen. Now, I know you ain't proud of these moments, but tell us, how low did you go?
Look, I never did this again. I'm gonna start there.
Okay.
But high school sweetheart, I could tell that something was like a little off. I was the pretty one to begin with, and then he got his braces off and thought that he was the word I can't say.
Got all brand new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And he wasn't answering like my phone calls, and I just had this weird feeling because I saw him walking with some other girl in school, but I'm like, it's whatever. So I just pop up to his house, knock on the door. His grandpa comes to the door, and just his eyes get big, and he's like, "This is kind of crazy." And he yells for him to come downstairs, but doesn't let me in. And I'm like, okay, I know he's on some BS right now. And he comes upstairs. He's like, what are you doing here? What do you mean? I'm always welcome here. Like, and he's just like, oh, no, you can't come in. And I'm just like, oh, so that's that hooker's car outside your house, huh?
Oh.
And he's like, you're just so crazy. No, I'm not crazy. Like, what do you mean?
I'm your girlfriend. I'm not crazy. I want to come in like I normally come in.
Yep. And, his grandpa made him go in the house, and like his grandpa apologized to me and was just like, I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going on here, but like, you deserve better. Like, you shouldn't have to deal with this. Why you let that hoochie in your house in?
Oh my God.
So he tried to play me crazy and told everybody that I was crazy. Yeah. And then a few months later, was trying to get back with me.
Of course they were.
Wow. Yeah, it's over. You lost that opportunity. But you know what though? It happens to all of us.
Yes.
And sometimes you got to pull up. Sometimes I don't ask anybody to get into any infractions. But
right.
Sometimes you got to pull up. I appreciate it, Mama. Let's see here. We got Alexis.
Hi, first-time caller.
Hey, first-time caller. Welcome to the Freak Show. How low
did you go?
Mm-hmm.
9 hours low, driving from Florida to Virginia, where my ex-husband was stationed. He was acting funny, graduating from his AIT program, didn't want me to show up. So I was like, something's weird. I looked at our bank statements, saw he had a hotel, drove all the way there, made very little stops. Get to the hotel. I'm like, can you page my ex-husband? And they're like, we can't tell you what room number, but they're dumb. And they're like, hey, can you page room such and such? So I was like, got him. So I walk outside to the car. I regain my thoughts, go up there, knock on the door, no answer. I call his phone. He was like, shh, my wife's calling. So I start banging on the door even harder. He finally cracks the door. The girl calls hotel security, and needless to say, I was escorted out, and yeah, that was the end of that.
Oh my gosh, you poor thing. Virginia.
Okay, 9-hour drive to Virginia. Totally Law and Ordered your way into the room. That was brilliant, by the way.
Yeah.
All right, but so did you just immediately drive back?
I found a hotel because I was too worked up to actually drive back.
I was gonna say that would have been a bad look. Okay.
Yeah.
But it and the relationship didn't rekindle after that, or
no, because I felt at that moment like you chose her over me. Like we're married, we have a child. At that point.
Red flag number one is, hey, my graduation is happening and I don't want you to come. What the hell?
Yeah.
That's rough right there. I'm glad you found out, and girl, you get the MVP award.
Yeah.
9-hour drive, damn.
Yeah, but the drive back must have sucked.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you had a battery in your back going there, boy.
Right. Right.
Wow, thank you, Mama. I appreciate it. Oh my God,
that's tough. They're still coming in. Out of the
there's all kinds.
813. I snuck in her apartment and waited for her to come home. When she came in, she was kissing all up over the other guy. I was sitting in the dark, and she never saw me. So I left, and she never knew I was there, and I broke up with her. Damn.
Okay.
I would have jumped out.
You had to. Boo! Louis just wrote, I ripped off the registration sticker off my ex's car so that he would get pulled over. I knew he always had the devil's lettuce on him and open containers in his car.
Oh, damn.
That was the clapback?
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
Well.
All right. Let's see. This says my ex ordered DoorDash off my card and got the receipt, and it was for Chick-fil-A for 2 people. So I went to our old apartment and sat outside in the woods. Let's just say I went up there and knocked on the door and made up a lie saying that she was pregnant by me and left. She moved me to the side dude role without me noticing.
Okay.
So he became the side dude.
Yeah, he did. He had no idea. Okay, out of the 386, my ex used to be a CEO and worked at a prison, so he couldn't take his phone inside of the prison, obviously. I drove to the prison, got into his car, went through his phone, and he was messing with one of the nurses that worked there.
Oh, okay. Okay. So the fact that you broke into a car and into a phone outside the prison, you got, where's mine? That's law and order right there.
Yeah, it is. Are you proud of everybody?
I am. Wait, we got Sunshine on here. Sunshine, you said you would never lower yourself this. You trying to tell me you have never, ever lowered yourself to this kind of depth?
Not for no man, absolutely not. If it was my kids, maybe, but not for no man. They come and go.
But when you feel wronged, this don't feel that wrong. A 9-hour drive don't feel that bad when you feel like you've been wronged.
No, when you've been wrong, but there's ways to go about it. Me, personally, that's not the way I'm going about it. Because you know what? I'm gone. And you know what happens? They end up calling me. No, you made your choice. Go with that. I'm not doing all that crazy stuff.
Yeah.
No, I mean, honestly, that's a great way to be. I don't think all of us have been that strong.
I have not.
I don't think all of us have the strength of Sunshine. I get it. But I will tell you, I would get down in the mud if I got to.
Yes.
And apparently all these other people will too.
Thank you for watching this video. For all things wild, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel.